Hey Area 10, this is Chris. I am coming to you from my office, so from my church office to your house, I guess. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I just wanted to send you an update. We're going to do this once a week on Wednesdays. There's a lot of information flowing around, probably like you guys. Like, I've gotten a million emails from everybody telling me how they're handling the virus situation. I mean, like, my mortgage company is telling me that their employees are washing their hands and stuff like that. And so there's like everyone I've ever done business with ever sent me an email to tell me, how they're handling it. Mostly is not relevant to me. But we did want to take a moment to communicate how our churches and our community, our faith community, how we're doing. And so I'm going to send this out every week and just give you some thoughts, some things I'm kicking around, some scripture, and hopefully it's encouraging to you, probably 5 minutes or so to just talk. On Sunday mornings, we're not going to talk coronavirus all the time. I think we'll all be sick of it. And I think we're going through Core 52 for the year. We're in the season of Lent. We're coming towards Easter. I want the Jesus people to be about the Jesus stuff. And so we'll continue to talk about that. But I did want to spend some time talking about this. In our staff meeting this week, Topher on our staff brought a really great question, because Topher had been at a church in New Orleans when Katrina hit, and he was talking about some of the lessons he learned there. And the question he asked our staff, he said, at the end of all of this, what do we want to be remembered for? And I thought that's a really great question. We have a chance right now in the next however many weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 8 weeks, what do we want to be remembered for? And the things my head went to is I want to be, as a church, remembered for that we loved well and that we served well. Churches are known for all sorts of things. Some churches are great music, and you got to see the building that this church is, or you got to go see the preacher at this church. You have to see these different things that churches have going on. And around Easter, all the churches are trying to get your attention, like, we're going to do an Easter egg drop from a helicopter and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, like, a lot of that can be fluff, and really what churches should be known for is walking in the way of Jesus and following him and trying to be as close to him as possible. And I think loving well and serving well. And so I really want us to lean into that during this time. And I was trying to think about how we would do that. And I was thinking back to the example that Jesus set for us. When Jesus walked on earth, he did a lot of things. But almost none of those things were designed to be an example. I mean, they were, but we weren't told, hey, do this exactly like Jesus did it. Like, Jesus feeds a crowd of thousands of people with a few loaves and a few fish. At no point did he say, and this is what you're supposed to do. This is my example. You're supposed to feed people the same way. Jesus walked on water, and he didn't say, you're also supposed to walk on water. One of the very few instances that what Jesus did, that he said, hey, this is an example for you, like, you really should do this, comes from John chapter 13. At the Last Supper, before he eats with his disciples. I want to read it to you from the NIV, John 13. I want to read 1 through 5. It says this: It was just before the Passover feast. Jesus knew that the time had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he now showed them the full extent of his love. The evening meal was being served, and the devil had already prompted Judas Iscariot, son of Simon, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. And if you look down at verse 12, it says this: When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. Do you understand what I have done for you? He asked them. You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set for you an example that you should do as I have done for you. The clearest time that Jesus ever says he's setting an example in what he's doing is when he washes his disciples' feet. And he said, this is what you're supposed to be about. We don't have to be literal. We don't need to go around literally washing each other's feet. But the principle is there, that the example he sets for us is even someone in his high position is going to to serve people and to leverage all that he has and serve people even in the most menial and kind of dirty of tasks. And that's an example for us. That, as the Jesus followers, that's something that we're supposed to be about. And I thought about that a lot because, you've heard from everyone that they say, the best way to control this virus is to wash your hands and count, 20 seconds of washing your hands. There's all this stuff about washing your hands. And that's a great idea. If you haven't been washing your hands, do that. It's just good life advice anyway, virus or not. But I think the people of God need to wash their hands, yes, but we need to be washing feet as well. We need to be looking for opportunities to serve. So let's take this time when a lot of us are sort of in some forced downtime, or we have some margin in our life, and really serve others. So many people say, I want to serve, I want to be involved, I want to love my city, I want to love the community, but I'm so busy, I don't have time, I've got this going on, and suddenly here we find ourselves with maybe a little more downtime than we thought. I know in our family, all of our kids' sports activities, all the things that keep us running around, like that stuff's done for the foreseeable future. So we have a little more margin as a family. And so let's take this time as an opportunity to really wash feet and serve. The best and easiest way we could ask you to do that is if you go on the Area 10 app or go to our website, you'll see a way to register there. If you go on the app, it's under the registration tab, I believe. And on that, you can sign up for the Area 10 First Response Team. The First Response Team are the people we're going to email first when we see opportunities that come up. So right now we're partnering with the public schools to do food distribution for kids that are out of school but still need food. And they need teams of volunteers, and about 20 different churches have adopted 20 different schools. We're connected to Fisher Elementary right now, and we're trying to motivate teams and people to go over there and serve during the day. And so I'll be over there tomorrow. We've already had some people over there earlier this week. That's something we would tell the First Response Team. But as other needs come in, as we hear from you, as we hear of other things in the community and ways to get involved, we want you to be part of that, but we don't want to blast out emails to everybody in our church database. So sign up for the First Response Team. Even if you're like, hey, I could just serve one day or just occasionally, that'll be the best and easiest way to get plugged in there. Also, on our website, we have a new page, and it's Area 10 Now, area10church.com/now, I think is how it's set up. And on that webpage, we're going to give you all the latest information that we have about what we're doing, ways to plug in, how we're staying connected, and just so that it's all kind of in one spot, so we're not hitting you with a whole bunch of emails of now this and now this and now this. We want to just keep all the up-to-date information there. And you can also sign up for the First Response Team there, and you can sign up if you're interested in receiving something or you need some help somewhere. We're trying to check in with everybody. We're going to be more active in reaching out, phone calls, emails, just trying to find out how people are doing and check in on everyone. So that's what we got going on. That's the first step, is just thinking through how do we love and serve well, and how can we do that over these next few weeks. I have a lot more thoughts around like prayer and fasting and stuff, and we'll get into that in weeks to come as well, because this is a great opportunity and a great time for the body of Christ to really serve Christ and do that here in this really unusual time. Anyway, thanks for listening. Love you guys. We're going to live stream on Sunday morning. We're starting a new series, 11 a.m. this Sunday. We will be live streaming a new series called Heartbeat, and looking at some lessons from the life of Jesus leading up to Easter. Hope you can join us. And this we're going to start for this series. We're going to have a live Q&A. So I'm going to make the message a little shorter, and you can text in questions through our live stream, and I'll answer them on camera, and it'll be hopefully a cool way to interact with the text and with what we're learning from the Lord there. So God bless you all. Praying for you as we're all a little bit bunkered in right now, and praying for all the stuff happening in the world. Thanks so much. Take care.